Welcome back to Hannity. Former Governor of Alaska Sarah Palin has issued her first public response to the despicable, vile, disgraceful comments about her that were spewed by left-wing NBC News host Martin Bashir. Take a look.
As for personally taking shots like that, Chris, everybody in life takes shots. You have a decision to make when you take a shot. Are you going to become bitter or better? In a case like this, you know, I don't have to accept his words, his vile, evil comments, so they don't have to affect me. I move on and I charge forth. As for the apologies, well, obviously, you know, who am I to not accept an apology? Everyone must humble themselves and accept that offer to, you know, of apology.
Now, the governor also addressed the handling of the situation and the lack of punishment for Bashir and slammed NBC executives for their blatant hypocrisy when it comes to comments that are made about conservatives. Here with reaction, radio talk show host Dana Lash, Fox News contributor Leslie Marshall. Dana, I want to be clear in the beginning. I'm not looking to get anybody fired. We make our living with the First Amendment. And you know that people are monitoring every word you say on the radio, I say, everything said on Fox. The question here is, look at the lineup. You got Ed Schultz, you got Alec Baldwin, Chris Matthews, Al Sharpton. You know, you got a pretty left-wing radical group over there. He talks about defecating and urinating in a public figure's mouth. I mean, if that's not punishable, I don't know what is. What's your reaction?
Well, Sean, you and I think, would agree that this is just further proof that conservatives are really united behind the principle of free speech. Personally, I love it when these characters allow their freak flags to fly, simply because it allows us, the public, to make an informed decision as to whether or not we want to be associated with these sorts of talking heads, or specifically this network, which seems to turn a blind eye when it's abuse towards conservative women, but has no problem when someone makes abusive comments towards gays and lesbians. But MSNBC kind of has this track record. And at this point, I think conservative women, frankly, should unite and form something like Women Against Progressive Bullying or something like GLAAD, because it seems like that's what it's going to take, that kind of lobbying to sort of end this kind of harassment.
You know, and it's funny because the liberals often talk about the war on women. Let's look at the recent hire, Alec Baldwin. And watch the way he talks to a female reporter and how he talks to his own daughter and talk about a war on women. Let's roll tape.
What are you going to do? I hope you jump. Thank you. Did you hear what I said? Yeah. Answer me, yes or no? Yes. If you're here when my wife and my kid come out here, you've got a big problem. You know that, don't you? Okay. Maybe you are as dumb as you look. You are with Fox, right? You're the one that almost hit my wife with the microphone in the face? Oh, you didn't? Yeah? I honestly did not. You want to apologize to her on camera? I asked you a question. You want to apologize to her? I asked you a question. Okay, you get the out of here.
I'm leaving this message with you to tell you, you have insulted me for the last time. You have insulted me. You don't have the brains or the decency as a human being. I don't give a that you're 12 years old or 11 years old or that you're a child. So you better be ready Friday, the 20th, to rude little pig you really are. You are a rude, thoughtless little pig, okay?
Why would the network that made so much of a big deal about binders, Leslie, hire that guy?
Well, first of all, Dana, I thought you and I were going to really agree and not have our cat fight one night. But I have to say, I and many liberals, when we heard, as a matter of fact, I wrote Roger an email, our boss here, Sean, that said, Alec Baldwin, really? Many liberals do not feel, and I'm one of them, that he speaks for us. And as far as this war on women, Sean, I'm glad you said that, because this is, I believe, Dana, I'm going to go one step further than you. I'm a liberal, I'm a Democrat, but I'm a woman first, and I was offended when Ed Schultz said something about Laura Ingraham, when Martin Bashir said something about Sarah Palin, when the Roots played that song before when Michelle Bachmann came out on the Jimmy Fallon show. But I'm also offended when Rush Limbaugh said things about Sandra Fluke, when there are things said about Hillary Clinton, and when there are things said about Nancy Pelosi. I don't think this is political, Sean. I think it's male-female, and honestly, Martin Bashir certainly should have been at least suspended, as Ed Schultz was.
Dana? What's your reaction?
I don't know. I happen to see infinity times more abuse, I think, directed towards conservative women. I don't like that sort of discourse anyway.
You're
because
kidding.
I think it takes attention off of substance. No, why don't you try listening to the show one time? But no, I think it takes attention off of the substance of the point. But I tell you, every single day, I am constantly fielding insults, not just towards me for what I do and for speaking out, but I see tons of other conservative women on this network who take abuse from progressive men. This is par for the course for progressive men. And Sean, this is one of the reasons I left the left. I left the Democrat Party because of people like Martin Bashir, because of people like Alec Baldwin. I was experiencing it as a Democrat woman daily, and I said goodbye to the party, and that's one of the big reasons.
Leslie, last word.
I don't feel that sexism is in this party, and quite frankly, or in the Republican Party, Dana. And I wasn't talking about your show when I said, that you can't ignore the fact that Hillary Clinton has been abused by both left and right. Heck, Chris Matthews attacked her.
Mainly by her
I think
husband.
it's disgusting
Mostly
that in
by her
2013. I think it's disgusting in 2013 that we even have to, as women, have this conversation about any of these men saying things about these women, regardless of the political party.
Agreed. Agreed on that point.
All right.
You both ruined the show. Thank you very much. Get along. Good to see you both.
Thanks, Sean.